you can count on us. This is 7 News Good Morning Fort Sill.
Well, happy Labor Day, and thanks for tuning into this holiday edition of Good Morning Fort Sill.
It is Labor Day, and we were talking about earlier before we went on, so it's a federal holiday. Obviously, Fort Sill, a lot of the civilian employees, the soldiers, they have today off. However, a 434th Field Artillery Brigade, basic combat training definitely going on right now still. So for all of our cadre and drill sergeants out there, let's turn it over to Ulysses to see what the forecast is looking like for today and Labor Day.
Well, guys, when it comes to Labor Day, it's actually looking pretty good out there. Going back to yesterday, 89 degrees for our temperature, so we're still below average. Low temperature 69 degrees. So overall, though, we're still dealing with these below average temperatures that are coming out of the month of August, and that's going to carry on at least as we make our way into September. We're also dealing with a bit of a foggy start right now. This is our Ashley Home Store Tower came in Burke Burnett, and you can kind of just see that reduced visibility. So looking at your morning PT forecast right now, we're dealing with partly cloudy skies, but there is that chance for some fog. 67 degrees at Fort Sill. Calm winds as we look over throughout the morning hours. We'll see our temperatures for the most part in the upper 60s until sunrise, and then we'll start slowly climbing into the lower 70s by the mid-morning hours at 8 and 9 a.m. Also, when it comes to your holiday forecast for your Labor Day here, so happy Labor Day. We'll be right around 89 degrees, partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies. There's about a 10% chance of a shower or storm across the area. We'll talk a little bit more about rain chances and temperatures after Labor Day throughout the show.
Well, let's move into our top military headlines. So the Trump administration is pushing forward with plans to start a major immigration enforcement operation inside Chicago.
And as John Lawrence reports, this comes despite a pushback from local and state officials.
There's a political tempest blowing in the Windy City.
Well, we've already had ongoing operations with ICE in Chicago and throughout Illinois and other states, making sure that we're upholding our laws. But we do intend to add more resources to those operations.
President Donald Trump has issued fair warning to Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, saying in a social media post to address the crime in Chicago, or the federal government will take charge.
Chicago apparently is living rent-free in his head, even though on other days he'll talk about Baltimore, he'll talk about New York. Notice he never talks about where the most violent crime is occurring, which is in red states.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is pushing back at the president, signing an executive order this weekend that resists the administration's planned crackdown.
This order affirms that the Chicago Police Department will not collaborate with military personnel on police patrols or civil immigration enforcement.
Sources say the operation in Chicago could start within the next few days and may include a surge of federal agents and the National Guard.
President Trump has a mandate to have strong immigration enforcement. That is one of the main things that got him elected, and now we're seeing it's playing out. I believe ultimately the American people are on his side.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
We'll turn into Fort Sill. So Fort Sill leaders, as well as staff from the Civilian Personnel Advisory Center, honored one of their longtime employees as they prepare to retire.
Yeah, lead HR specialist Melissa Wagner has served in various positions in her 36 years, working both at Fort Sill and TRADOC. Deputy of the CG, Dr. Alvin Peterson, awarded her with the CG's Coin of Excellence, and Wagner received many gifts, awards, and coins for her contributions to Fort Sill.
So that's a lot of years of support for serving our service members and their families. Congratulations on your retirement. And even though it may be Labor Day, as many soldiers have the day off, the drill sergeants, cadre, and trainees at Fort Sill's 434th Field Artillery Brigade remain hard at work. And today we take an inside look at basic combat training's event called First 100, which is the first major step for new trainees as they go from civilian to soldier. 7 News reporter Skylar Teddington got to experience this event through the lens of both drill sergeants and the trainees themselves.
The first 100 is a monumental milestone for any soldier. It's the first 100 yards of basic combat training and the very first test for trainees in the 434th Field Artillery Brigade, a rite of passage that pushes them out of reception and into the Army culture of teamwork, resilience, and discipline. This event replaced the old shark attack a few years ago. It's still loud.
Come on! Ready, go!
And it's still fast-paced and a little chaotic, but it's controlled chaos. The goal isn't intimidation, it's about building confidence and teamwork under stress.
The first 100 entails of the trainees coming down together, moving equipment. It's a resupply mission, moving equipment from one side of the track to the other side, putting it back together. How they first received it or saw it entails of a physical test or competition.
That was a competition the 2nd Platoon won. Drill sergeants and cadre prepare carefully to deliver the right mix of challenge and safety.
So we're going to execute the first 100 effectively by having them do team events. These team events are going to show them that they need to work together in order to complete the task. If they don't do it together, they're not going to do very well in basic training, because everything we do here is a team effort, not a me thing.
It's an important lesson to learn. The first 100 is the start of their journey from civilian to soldier.
We've been waiting for this for a solid week, really anticipating it and just happy to get through that.
Just kind of sitting around in reception for a week and it's all finally coming together. Just kind of happy to finally start, working towards my future.
It's tough, it's demanding, but for every soldier who passes through, the first 100 is unforgettable. This is only the beginning for trainees here at Fort Sill, but for these soldiers, it's the first step towards earning the title United States Army Soldier. For 7 News, I'm Skylar Teddington.
Sorry, I was smiling right there because I love watching that, right? That's the first 100, literally it's besides reception, right? Because they come into the 95th Reception Battalion, that's where they arrive, they get in process, but that's the very first thing that they really experience when they truly start basic combat training.
That's sort of your welcome to the Army moment then, right?
Yeah, so it's cool. It was I always love watching that. Skylar did a great job covering that. And we will have more coverage of units on Fort Sill as well. We'll take a little bit more at 4th through 4th Field Artillery Brigade, as well as a few others. So just a reminder that if you want to go to the Lettra Beach on Fort Sill or the water slide, today is your last day to do it. So Lettra is open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. today, in addition to the beach and water slide, putt-putt golf, kayaking, boating, archery, paintball, all of that stuff is available.
It's important to note that those other activities will remain available on weekends through the end of September, depending on weather, of course.
And Fort Sill's monthly Sillfax Town Hall will be held tomorrow at 11 in the morning at the Patriot Club. Sillfax is an open forum and is a perfect opportunity to learn about local resources, ask leaders questions, and hear from support organizations on and off post. It is free and open to the public.
Nye Library on Fort Sill is hosting a couple of family-themed events this weekend. Festivities start at 10:30 a.m. with Saturday story time. Toddlers up to 2nd graders can enjoy an activity story time and crafts. This week's theme is Pieces of Pizza, and if that's not enough fun for the kiddos, they can enjoy some STEAM activities at Builders and Makers Saturday afternoon from 1 until 3. Kids will be able to design with magnets, code robots, build marble mazes, and much more. For more information, you can call the library at the number on your screen.
And for our service members just arriving or getting ready to leave, the ACS Lending Closet has you covered with basic household items free of charge for up to 30 days. It just requires a copy of your orders and your ID card. And look, this is a extremely valuable but often underutilized service, Kyle. I've actually used it before several times at various duty assignments when I've been, coming or going, waiting for household goods. So if you want to find out more information, you can call one of the numbers on your screen.
Well, just a reminder that the Fitness Center on Altus Air Force Base will not be open today due to the Labor Day holiday. Those with 24-hour access activated on their CAC cards will still be able to use the Fitness Center.
And if you're still itching to get the family out of the house, you can go to Galaxy Lanes. They're having a special Labor Day special. 97 cents will get you 10 frames of bowling.
Ooh, that's good.
That is pretty good there. So the 97th wing, I'm sure that's why they did 97 cents. So shoes will also be available for $2. And for more information, you can contact the bowling alley at the number on your screen.
And speaking of Labor Day, looking south of the Red River, Missile Gate on Shepherd Air Force Base will be closed today due to the holiday. The Visitor Control Center is also closed. The main gate is open for business as usual, though, with 24/7 access. Well, it's the most wonderful time of the year, the start of college football. Coming up on Good Morning Fort Sill, we'll take a look at how each service academy fared in Week 1.
sunny, or severe, we get it right, you get it first. First Alert 7 weather.
This just in, the town of Velma is being evacuated.
Stay connected to the team you trust your way. Get breaking news and investigations here on the 7 News app.
Mark, what are you seeing?
Right now I'm here at 2nd and F.
Instant forecast with real-time alerts here on the First Alert 7 weather app. And stream live on your TV here or watch anytime on your schedule. Download all 3 for free. Stay connected to 7 News wherever you are. Here's your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Ulysses Garcia.
Good morning and happy Labor Day. And looking at what's happening right now in our Jackson County Memorial Hospital tower cam in Altus, just look at that low deck of clouds there. It's just a really cool sight there. You can see just the buildings just south of the cloud deck or just below the cloud deck and just that low level clouds. So yeah, we are dealing with the low cloud deck, some fog, and just fog in general is just really just a stratus cloud that's near the surface pretty much. Now temperatures right now 67 degrees in Lyon, 68 in Frederick, 67 in Vernon, 69 in Wichita Falls, 73 degrees in Jacksboro. And checking out some of those visibilities, we're dealing with 1.5 miles in Duncan, half a mile in Wichita Falls, half a mile down towards Graham. So just remember to drive with your low beams if you are traveling early this morning. Really not much happening here. There's a little short wave, but not really kicking up any energy when it comes to showers across the area, but just something, there's at least a little something out there. And you can see that we'll still deal with the lower clouds here this morning, and then by this afternoon, we'll deal with a good amount of sunshine as we make our way to this evening. Mostly quiet. However, there are some models that are trying to hint maybe a quick little isolated shower storm as possible as we go into tonight. And then tomorrow, we'll deal with a good amount of sunshine across the area. Your PT forecast here as we go through the next couple of hours. Just watch out for some of that fog, and then temperatures climbing from the upper 60s to the lower 70s by 9 a.m. For the rest of today, though, we'll be right around 89 degrees, warm and muggy out there. Northeast wind at 0 to 10 miles an hour.
The U.S. Army has awarded Raytheon a $1.7 billion contract to produce a new radar sensor to replace the current Patriot Systems radar.
So they've been looking at this for a while. So the contract modification allows the company to build a low-rate production, lower-tier air missile defense systems radar. The Army's low-rate production lot will consist of roughly 10 radars, and the service plans to build 94 radars total over the course of the program. The estimated completion date for the low-rate production is the end of 2029. And FORCECOM leaders have released an order for commanders to examine their base's food ecosystem and try new strategies to introduce new food options to soldiers while easing the burden placed on Army cooks.
According to the order, by aligning feeding operations with soldier needs and operational demands, FORCECOM is setting a new standard for modern, resilient, and soldier-focused food service delivery. Some of the changes have already been implemented at installations such as Fort Hood and include predictable dining schedules and quick, conveniently located services to increase diners.
So earlier this month, Army Material Command tested a pilot program to allow soldiers to spend their meal entitlement money on specific meals at on-post restaurants. No decision has been made on how and when the pilot program could return. Well, Kyle, I know you're happy about this. Football, so everyone is fired up. It is college football season, and the service academies were all in action over the weekend.
The Army and Navy both expected to contend in the American Athletic Conference. The Black Knights, of course, the defending AAC champions, but their 2025 season did not start the way they wanted it to. Army falling in double overtime to Tarleton State, 30-27. The Black Knights with a sloppy performance, 3 turnovers, all in the second half, including a fourth-quarter fumble that led to the game-tying score. A missed field goal in the second OT opened the door for the Texans, and they took advantage, nailing the game winner.
So the Army will be on national TV this week, taking on Kansas State at 6 o'clock on Saturday night. Go Army. Well, the Navy, on the other hand, had a dominant performance in Week 1. The midshipmen routed Virginia Military Institute 52-7. Kyle.
Yeah, that Navy triple option worked to perfection as they racked up over 460 yards on the ground. Backup quarterback Braxton Woodson got plenty of snaps, and he made the most of them as he rushed for a career-high 180 yards and 2 touchdowns. The midshipmen will open up conference play Saturday against UAB.
And they'll be in the Sooner State next week for a day State with Tulsa.
Should be a good one.
Yeah, and Air Force is also 1-0. The Falcons blew out the Bucknell 49-13 in the season opener.
Yeah, it was a big day for the Air Force offense. Quarterback Josh Johnson making some plays through the air as he threw 2 touchdown passes, including a 62-yarder to Cade Harris. Harris with a monster game, scoring 3 total TDs and leading the Falcons in both rushing and receiving. The Air Force defense forced a couple of turnovers as well. The Falcons will kick off Mountain West Conference play Saturday night as they head to Utah State.
And Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is establishing a joint task force aimed at countering drones and UAVs. We'll have a breakdown of the new program coming up next on Good Morning Fort Sill.
Sunny or severe, we get it right, you get it first. First Alert 7 weather.
This just in, the town of Velma is being evacuated.
Stay connected to the team you trust your way. Get breaking news and investigations here on the 7 News app.
Mark, what are you seeing?
Right now I'm here at 2nd and F.
Instant forecast with real-time alerts here on the First Alert 7 weather app. And stream live on your TV here or watch anytime on your schedule. Download all 3 for free. Stay connected to 7 News wherever you are.
Looking at our national headlines, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has directed the U.S. Army to establish a joint interagency task force to counter hostile UAS drones.
So that's right. Joint Interagency Task Force 401 will work towards eliminating hostile UASs that are being operated overseas and at the border. Hegseth says that the force will help restore control of the skies to the U.S.
Our job here at the Pentagon, when you think about it, is to prepare for the threats of the future and build a force to match them and defeat them and outpace them. Because make no mistake, under this administration and President Trump's leadership, we're going to out-innovate, we're going to lead, and we will win.
Well, community members at Eielson Air Force Base in Alaska attended a town hall meeting about a pilot project to build a nuclear microreactor.
The reactor is planned to provide 5 megawatts of power and heat Eielson, with the potential to expand to the surrounding community as well. Community members raised the alarm on the price and safety of the project, as well as what will happen to the waste that the reactor generates.
Now, military officials and scientists assured that the crowd that the microreactor has tested technology and that taxpayers won't see a cost until the site is up and running.
Let's just say, for some reason, their design is unable to work, or their license was not approved by NRC. There has not been any loss other than an opportunity to have the first commercial advanced nuclear reactor at Eielson Air Force Base.
So far, the Department of the Air Force has announced its intent to award a contract, but no contract has been given yet, and it's unclear when the project will move forward. Well, time to take a look at your good news. So a Massachusetts man who served in World War II is being honored with a special lifeguard station at a beach where he worked to save lives before going off to war.
Robert Boots Chenard began lifeguarding at Salisbury Beach after graduating high school in 1943. Now this veteran lifeguard, school teacher, and newspaper columnist is soaking up an honor that's beyond deserved.
I'm so happy. I just can't believe it's me. I think it's somebody else.
I grew up knowing Boots Chenard, knowing what he was all about, knowing how he represents the greatest of the greatest generation.
Boots represents so much about what is good in our society. He represents selfless sacrifice. He represents commitment to our country and military service.
Always good to see that.
Yeah, I love stories like that. I mean, like just honoring our veterans, and a guy looks like an awesome guy.
Well, the Veterans Museum in Iowa has a special display that has been painstakingly put together to showcase our nation's military history and give us a look at the story behind World War I.
So Joe McMahon has more from the Hawkeye State.
World War I is kind of the forgotten war. We lost approximately 116,000 Americans. In Europe, they lost anywhere from 18 to 20 million people, 8 million horses alone. Behind me, it took like 3.5 days. The longer I'm up here, the more I find ways to detail here or detail there. and I just love assembling this. It's always a way to have a tribute to our veterans. And when you get down low and move really slow, everybody kind of moves out there. It kind of brings it more to life. You gotta look small. I've trained myself to look small. I've told my kids that, I look small. I've been collecting for around 12 years. 4 years ago was the first time I displayed what I had at that time here at Calliope Village, and it was just time to come back.
Here's your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Ulysses Garcia.
And looking at the view over our Cameron University Tower Cam lawn, you can definitely see that misty, low deck, foggy look out there. So just make sure to give yourself a little of extra time driving through the low beams throughout these late overnight hours into your early morning. Dew points, though, definitely on the muggy side, 60s to lower 70s across the board. We have really not much happening here, just a little very, very weak shortwave that's pushing through parts of Oklahoma, but not really enough to bring up any precipitation from it. Well, we are starting off with clouds this morning and kind of dealing with the sunshine this afternoon. So kind of a similar setup to what we had yesterday across the region. As we make our way into tonight, there might be maybe a stray chance of a shower or storm. That could even linger into your Tuesday morning briefly. And after that, more sunshine across the board. We're looking at your morning PT forecast at Fort Sill, upper 60s, eventually climbing into the lower 70s. And then looking at your holiday forecast here for your Labor Day, we could be dealing with temperatures making their way close to 90 degrees across the board. 2 o'clock, 86 degrees, mostly sunny by 7 o'clock. And then as we progress throughout the 7-day forecast here, we are going to see those temperatures just flirting with 90 degrees at times. However, though, temperatures still remaining below average.
Ulysses, you already put me in the mood for a burger, man.
Yeah, I don't know. There you go.
Well, thanks for watching. Good morning, Fort Sill.